Hello. Look who's here.
Us.
We're back, baby.
We're back. We never left. Yes, we did.
Yeah, we left for a while.
We fully left for
Small
a
break.
while.
It's only
Small
been
break.
since like June. That's
Yeah.
June 19th, 2023.
But we came back.
Back
And
again.
we missed you guys.
We did.
And I missed all of you.
Oh,
So if everyone wants to go around and tell us who you are and who you're playing, and that way we can get to know you a little bit before we completely change everything.
okay. I'm Nate. He, him pronouns. I'm playing Twig Swift Strike, Otterkin Rogue Warlock.
hi, I'm Shannon. This is Trouble. Trouble's not a part of the game, but you like cats, right? Hell yeah, you do.
Truth.
He's a baby and he's being very needy. I play Artificer Charity Moonlight as well as Nimblewright Savannah. What is happening?
What?
This is my life now.
Ever
what
they
my
want
life
to
is.
happen. I'm Cassandra. I am playing the best Kender Barbarian you'll ever find, Amulet Sticky Fingers. And I think it's important to remind you, Ben, that last time Hebe gave me a handkerchief that produces a pastry whenever it's empty.
You wrote it down, so
I know.
you're
In case there's
responsible for it.
questions why she's munching so much, just don't forget. It's very important.
I trust you.
Okay.
I want
Is
that
that
in
at
real
will
life.
or like once per long rest or like?
It just says whenever it's empty.
That's
If I eat it, boom.
wow. That's the most OP food item I've ever heard.
Now, I will say
Mm.
that if you eat more than 3, you're gonna have to start making con checks.
Why?
Ooh.
For fullness or other things? Oh,
Yes.
now I want to test it and see.
Well, make sure to write that down, please.
For fullness and depending on how you look at it, emptiness. You know.
Write it down.
When you fill that hole in your life with consumer goods that'll
Does the
never
handker-
actually make you
Oh,
happy.
they're so good.
Does the handkerchief have a name?
Oh, I love consuming goods.
The handkerchief of Hebe.
That works.
Way better than having the GBs of Hebe.
It's the Hebes. You don't want them GBs.
You don't want them GBs.
Sounds bad.
I am Warrior. I'll just be talking in the background while everyone else is talking, as is per my custom. I play Monty Burnside. He is a 9-year-old GIF arcane archer fighter, but he uses guns instead of arrows because he's from a world that has tech nerds.
Get wrecked.
Yeah.
man.
Get wrecked. Eat lead.
All right. So it's been a while.
It's been a while.
As I told them before we started, I went back and watched the last episode, or listened to, I should say. And I was like, I don't remember any of this. So, which is crazy because generally I remember these things a little bit. So luckily I had notes to consult. So as we go, if you remember something differently, make sure to voice that because it's your game. And if everything goes to plan, this will most likely be the last episode of like a so-called first season, and then we'll have our next episode will be what happened in between. So
There's a microphone getting eaten.
You are creating an audio nightmare. You are every editor's nightmare.
we're live,
There is
baby.
no clipping this for a Would you stop? Oh my God.
What do you mean there's no clipping this?
Yeah.
It's being clipped right.
Yeah, that is the clip.
That's the clip. That's the most exciting thing that's going to happen. Kidding. Go home, everybody. It's all
This
downhill.
kid, it's all
Hey,
downhill from
Spike.
here.
So, you are before Hera, and what Hera looks like, if you don't recall, because it's been like 8 months, is it's a statue, kind of a woman, a very comely shape, no head though, and like a crystal ball of eyes floating above, and behind it, a mass of peacock feathers, each where there would be an eye in the feather is an actual eye, gazing upon you. And the crystal ball says, "Who comes to speak before the mistress of Mount Celestia? Who comes to beg their words before Hera?"
I push Twig forward.
Like,
Yeah, Charity just like blankly stares and just like points at him as he gets shoved forward.
Twig bumps right into the butt of Heracles, who just looks back at you like, "What are you doing?" He walks forward and bows very lowly and says, "Champion of Mount Celestia, I, Heracles, come to beseech your attention." And it just moves and looms. It's so big. It's probably like 12 feet tall, this statue.
It's really big.
And the statue doesn't even actually touch the floor. It kind of floats. And he says, "I come to beseech you in a matter." And he turns and looks, and everything parts around you, all of the hangers on and members of the court. And there you stand, your group, with Felix standing directly behind you. And everything goes dead silent. Heracles stands up. He walks right by you all, kind of winks at you, and he puts his hand on Felix's shoulder and he says, "Good luck," and walks out.
Wait, did we know Felix was here already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't
rescued
remember.
Felix.
He came with you.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Rescued Felix. We fought Hercules together.
Mhm.
That's right. I nudged Twig again.
We're here on a field trip.
And like, it is just dead silence. You don't even hear people breathing, because the only people breathing are you. No one else here needs to breathe, and they are not.
That's right.
Shaggy.
And Felix isn't saying anything.
You like look over your shoulder at him. He looks petrified.
Anybody have a spell to fix that?
Like, not turned to stone. He looks
Yeah.
absolutely terrified. Like, this is the first time you've ever seen him look actually frightened.
Okay.
If I poke him, does he do anything, or just kind of?
How hard are you going to poke him?
Not super hard. I'm just enough to try to get his attention.
He like kind of snaps between. He looks down and he says, "What?"
This is your deal.
We now more than ever we need an adult.
Yes. I have come with my wards and siblings, and I've come to beseech Hera for an audience. And you see the gentleman in the too tight white outfit step forward, and he doesn't actually seem to grow, but somehow he becomes as big as the statue and seems to whisper towards the crystal ball. From the other side of the room, a large, almost jovially sized man limps out. He says, whoa, wait a second. I'm not doing that. And he walks forward to Hera as well. And he whispers, but he's loud, so you can hear everything he says. And he's just like, this requires fair and impartiality. This requires, mother, if you're going to do this, do it correctly. This is an heir. You don't need to listen to Ares, who all he does is make mistakes. And they kind of just stare at each other. And the voice of Hera says, everyone out. And everyone leaves. I mean, quickly. I believe we described this place as like the ultimate grandmother museum, where it's like, ooh, look at all this cool stuff. Don't fucking touch it.
It's very cold and it's very pretty, and you're not allowed to touch a thing.
So, as you're standing there, and the doors finally close, everything shrinks down to a more manageable size. All of this reminds you much of when you dealt with Hades earlier. So you're looking at these three individuals. The first individual comes walking right up to you. And he says, I am Hephaestus. And like I said, he's a large man. He has a pronounced limp from one of his legs, which looks malformed, but he's got this like intricately built bracing system that makes that leg move in a way where you're like, that leg looks like it should not be able to move that way. But this device that's been crafted is so impeccably amazing, it's making it move. So you all see something slightly different because, again, you're dealing with the deity. So if you want to tell me what you see, if it's different from that, please do. The other person you see steps forward, and their white suit, very handsome, chiseled, angular face and slicked back, kind of dusty blonde hair and aquiline features literally melt into pitch black armor, gold and blazed. The big frill, red, looks like it's been stained with blood, and they look completely decked out for war. They step forward, and their voice doesn't sound like it comes from anywhere. It's just this hollow, almost, it's very like orderly. It's very powerful. And it says, I am Ares, god of war.
Cool.
And finally, you look where the statue was, and now there's a small woman, probably like 5'10". Compared to these two, she's small, I should say. Not 5'10" is not small.
It's like compared to us,
but she's
especially.
Petite. She's dressed in the equivalent of a 1950s sitcom mom dress. Her hair looks very similar. If Hades was a sitcom dad, this is definitely a sitcom mom. And she looks at all of you and she says, it's been so long since I've had children here. Why are you here? She completely just, Felix is there, but Felix is not there. Why are you children here? And again, all of these are deities, so if you see something different, please don't hesitate to describe that.
I think
We're here with Felix, and I'll point to him, to ask.
Her eyes never leave you, the rest of you. She's like, why are you here?
We're here to ask for help. The world's, pardon my language, it's kind of gone to shit.
She reaches out and she touches your lips, and all of a sudden you can't talk.
Oh.
She says,
Like, yeah, we all
Child.
do like the kindergartner, like, ooh.
Child. I don't know who's allowed you to speak like that, but you will not speak like that here.
You should wash his mouth out with soap. I have soap. Do you want some soap? I'm sure I've got some soap somewhere.
As you say that, Ares hands her a bar of soap.
Ew.
And she looks down at you, Twig, and she touches and your mouth forcefully opens. And she sticks a bar of soap in there and then she closes it. And you feel yourself involuntarily, literally eating a bar of soap. She's like, is this a punishment where you come from? Then we will rely upon that to show you the error of your ways. Hopefully this time it takes, because I can conjure soap for a millennium.
I'm gonna look through my pockets and find a crumpled up piece of paper, and then I'm gonna write a note. It says, "That's how bad it is."
When you do that, she looks at it and she touches your mouth, and all of that soapy flavor just goes away, and you can speak again. Come. She ushers you away, and a little, like, out of this darkness you're kind of in, a little like 70s style dropped living room, like sunken living room setting is there, and you all go and she ushers you to sit down. And you notice when you move into there, like Hephaestus and Ares both change in their appearance. Ares goes from looking like the god of war to back to that kind of 80s cocaine fueled day trader, Patrick Bateman. And Hephaestus looks like Uncle Buck with a beard. And he's all of a sudden, he does have a drink in hand, and he's just kind of like leaning against the back wall. And Felix is still there, but he's on the very edge of your ability to see him. It's like he's standing in the very edge of darkness, and it doesn't appear he can even move.
When she turns her back, I slip pastry into Twig's pocket. So he notices, but like, can you to change the flavor.
She waves a hand, and there's just a plethora of food and drink on the table that looks like food that was for kids. It's not like adult food.
It's like Dino Nuggies.
Yeah,
and mac and cheese.
it's the
Gushers.
Mount Celestia version of Dino Nuggies, apple
Hell
slices
yeah.
and peanut butter.
Hell yeah, they got the Velveeta shells.
Yeah,
in these.
the very tiny versions of High C, but in little goblets.
Is it Ecto Cooler?
The shark gummies.
It's like a very good layout, but most of it is like not shitty food for kids, but like food where you're like, oh, this is in pretty shape, so are pretty colors, so I'll eat it. But it's not like just candy. Like, don't go crazy and think it's all candy. She says,
Animals.
she looks at you and she says, you must have traversed many things to get here based upon your circumstance. This situation must be most dire. So tell me, what is this thing that you feel the need to bring it before the Queen of Mount Celestia? There's a whole like thing of tastations.
Tastations.
Some Dunkaroos.
Does it have a name? I forget.
No. You know that there's 3 gods of unmaking. That's all you know.
Well, things are disappearing. Like there's a whole world that Monty lived on, and it's gone, right?
Monty is fully not paying any attention to you, because to Monty, Ares looks exactly like HB Optimus. And I feel like when he walked through the door into like 80s sitcom land, he just turned into like the Secret Identity version from DB. So like he's just like,
Hera puts her hands in front of you and she's snapping her fingers and she says, "Son of Tahuret, please, your attention."
What?
Son of Tahuret, your attention.
It's not my dad's name.
No, but you are. Look at your appearance. You are definitely a son of Tahuret.
Gesundheit.
Okay, what? So what? What?
Tahuret.
No, I know. Okay. But what is that what you wanted to talk to me about?
She looks back over at Twig and she says, "No." She's like, "I can't with you."
Okay.
She says, "Do you know the name of this son of Tahuret's world?"
Monty, what's your world called?
What?
She leans forward to you three and says, "Is he addled? Is he injured?"
I'm in modal.
I think he's just stunned. This is the first time he's been here.
I don't think I don't think I ever named his world. I don't think I ever did.
Oh, it's not your mother she's referring to. You can all make me a religion check if you want, but it's going to be a difficult pass.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give it a
Let's
try.
go. First roll.
I got 13.
That's not enough.
12.
7.
Not enough. No way.
I got a 14.
Nope.
God,
That was
Worth a
better than
try.
the 6 I
You're-
rolled. To
You're all
remember,
just like, what?
Yeah.
really?
You know what? Someone can roll me a d20 for Erland, and his religion will be a +6.
I'll do it.
He may know who this is.
Go,
I
Cassandra,
rolled,
go.
I rolled a 10 though.
So 16.
Yeah.
He's like, he looks at you, Monty. He goes, "I didn't know you were Egyptian."
What?
He goes, "Egyptian?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, what?"
What?
No, he's like, "What?" You guys just have like a what off, like you're both completely confused.
I think
And Bliss kind of butts in, and she's like, because she has also been sort of like staring at Ares the entire time. You don't know what she's seeing, but it's not probably what you're seeing.
probably is. It's pretty cool.
She's like, "Isn't Egypt on your world?" And he's like, Yeah. I learned about it in school. Taret, she's like an Egyptian goddess. She looks kind of like you, except for a lady.
Okay. Yeah, it's not.
I've been saying
Doesn't ring a bell. Like probably. I mean, if it's from your world, it's probably not like the same.
But like, if like these people are like universal, like is Rosine, and Rosine is just completely like in awe of Ares. You don't know what she's seeing, but she's just like almost to the point of like fearful obedience.
Mm.
I know you named it, Warrior. I don't remember what you named it.
I don't.
Didn't you name it Cronus?
Oh, it is Cronus. Yes.
No, I didn't.
I was
No, I
thinking
didn't.
about it.
No,
for a
I didn't
second.
do that.
Yes, I
My
did.
notes
I had to
here.
think for a second. My brain was like running a million miles an hour, going,
No, it is. It's
"What do you
Cronus.
name
Yeah,
this place?"
yeah, it's Cronus. That's right. I'm going to put that in my notes now because it's not. It's like, why isn't it in my notes?
So as you guys are kind of babbling about that, you're like, Earth and Kronos aren't the same place.
I don't think so.
And Hera looks down at you, Twig, and Charity, and Amulet, because you're the only three paying attention. Everyone else is like just oddly either awed or terrified of Ares, and in the background, Hephaestus is sipping something out of a can, and just chilling. She says, "Is the world Cronus?"
Yes, that sounds right.
She grabs one of the candy dishes off of the table and in her hand, she literally crushes it into a globe, and it floats in her hand, and the globe opens up to a almost looks like kind of like a, if we were Star Warring, which is next Monday, you would see like one of those little like a 3D star map, a coordinate map, but this just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as systems like move out of these different crystal spheres. And finally, one of them sort of lights up, and she moves her hand in and pulls it to the primary. She's like, I see a world here.
But what does it look like?
She bends it and twists it down so it's like you can actually, like, you're looking like from space, and then you feel like your senses pulling down through the heat of the descent through gravity, and then through like what looks like natural cloud, and then you realize it's slightly natural cloud, it's smoke, and then kind of like nuclear winter, which you wouldn't know, but I mean, you as a person know. You peel down and it's just decimated. It's just absolute carnage as far as like the landscape. You don't see anything living because everything's been crushed. It's and at the same time, what you're noticing is there's like it looks like a central like unmoving tornado kind of in the distance, but all it's really doing is pulling up debris and matter into nothingness.
See that? That's not normal. That's bad. That's happening all over.
She looks at it. And she kind of thinks, she's like, did it not look like this before? Because worlds fall. Worlds do look like this. There's an ebb and flow to everything. Things are born and things die.
I mean, that makes sense, but that just happened like recently.
I wanted to say days. Has it been days?
It's been a few weeks.
Weeks. Okay.
She's looking at it and she says, so it wasn't like that. What was it like?
It looks like him, but a world, like all machines. Yeah,
Machines. She reaches over to you, Monty.
Monty's just staring at the map.
Oh, you're staring at the map, and she looks at you and she moves it aside, so you're just you and her in eye contact, and she's like, "May I?"
Maybe what?
Show a memory.
Okay.
She very, very gently, you can barely feel her fingers touch your brow, just like the minuscule hairs you have. You can barely feel her fingers brush against that, and a light blue glowing sphere comes out, and she lays it over what you're looking at, and you all see what Cronus used to look like. Monty's memory of Cronus. Monty, what do you see?
I feel like Monty's memory of it is a little bit Power Rangers-ified. It's a very extraordinarily, probably incomprehensibly modern world. It would look lightly incomprehensible to us if we saw it. Very futuristic. It's very sleek, but the structures themselves are very sleek, very functional, very refined. However, they are very many of them are gaudily decorated in sort of in a similar fashion to how Monty is dressed. It's none of it is fastened to the building, but it is a sort of neon-like light construct that makes some buildings much more ornate, very intricate, like holograph stuff. It can be changed at a whim. Oftentimes they do. There are vehicles, that fly, vehicles that tread on the ground. Monty's memory is of a particular portion of the world that is heavily militarized. So he sort of lives on an army, or the equivalent of like an army base, and so a lot of it, that section is much more decorated in that way. Does have a lot more sort of organized movement, and then in the distance you see sort of different building faces.
I think one time I described it from Victor's point of view as every building is extremely geometrical, almost to a form where you're like, that's disturbing to look at. But like you said, there's like neon lights like everywhere, ever changing visual things, because a lot of their, instead of magic, is a lot of like hard light based technology. That's amazing. So that's what you guys see. You see this world that looks like nothing you've seen before. It's stunning. Hera leans back and kind of takes it all in. And she looks at you, Monty, and she says, how long ago was this memory you've shared?
It's like a month ago. It was right before we left.
She curls it back in her hand and gently touches your forehead. And when you take a moment, you like the memory is, you realize that memory is never going to fade. You're always going to have that. It's no matter what happens to you. It may be the last thing you ever see will be this. This is now permanently in your head. She looks at all of you and kind of leans back and she says, wow, that's a terrifying thought. At that point, Ares walks forward and sits down very stiffly beside his mother. The only response is an equal and measured response. War. She leans back. She pulls out a little metal cigarette case and lights a cigarette and leans back and on this plastic covered couch. Kind of sits, and you can see her like thinking, and actually what you're seeing is you're literally seeing her thoughts in the air above her head. Like in the smoke, you're seeing like these coalescing thoughts. And Hephaestus comes over and kind of butt wiggles his way between a bunch of you and plops down. And he says, this could take a while. This is the plotting and planning. Notice how they both are lost in it. Schemers.
Like what do they have for war? Like we were really good at war with like what we did.
He is war. Obnoxious, loud, unforgiving, focused on nothing but victory at all costs.
I don't know, it looks pretty cool and heroic to me. Whatever.
He looks at you and he kind of smiles and he says, have you seen war? Real war? Have you experienced real loss at your hands? Not your world, but real loss. Have you killed someone?
Like more real than losing my world. Okay, cool.
No. That wasn't war. That was a disaster. That's what I saw. Disasters don't care about winning. They just occur. What he wants is to win. Which means anything that is stopping him from winning, he must eliminate. And he will joyfully do so. Behind all this, he like walks up and he rubs his hand, like looks like he's touching Ares' face and literally just smushing it as he runs it down. He goes, behind this veneer is just bloodshed. So you may think you worship war. You may think it's cool. But I'll tell you what's cool.
Reading.
Building is cool.
I mean, building
Making
is pretty
things is
cool.
cool. Sure, I might make things for war sometimes. But sometimes I might do something like he takes the can he's been drinking out of, crushes it between his hands, and you watch him mold this metal like he's molding clay. And it takes him, you just see this like intense look on his face, almost mad glee. And eventually he holds his hand out, and there is a stunning statue of a woman who is beyond any sense of beauty you've ever known, riding on what looks to be a clamshell.
I mean,
Wow.
that's pretty cool. But look, and like, Monty reaches into his pocket and pulls out the little handful of like Lego 37.0 that he carries in his pocket, and he like kind of holds his hand up like next to it, and you like, boop, 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 and then like makes a sort of lightly blocky rendition of what Hephaestus just made.
He smiles and he says, "May I?"
Sure.
He takes your device as well as your futuristic Legos, and he breaks them down in his fingers into very minuscule
Those are expensive.
particles. And he builds with those minuscule particles a blocky, almost perfect rendition of the capital on Cronus.
Whoa.
Building. You have tools.
The building's cool.
The only reason I know what it looks like is because you showed me.
Yeah.
Would you rather destroy something or build something? All of you.
I'll build something. It looks cool.
What about you, Potty Mouth?
How cool does it look when it's destroyed?
Next. That's not an answer.
Not very cool twig.
Rosine kind of looks at him and then looks down, and she says, "I can't. Like, no." And she just keeps looking at Ares.
Did she look distraught?
You can make me a insight check.
Boy, I'm really good at rolling 10s today. That's a 10. It's a straight 10.
She doesn't look distraught, but she looks awestruck. Out of all three of them,
Okay.
this is the thing. This is the thing that has her as much awestruck as when you met Hades.
Okay. Well, I mean, if she was distraught, then I would try to help her. But if she's awestruck, gonna let her go. It's what it is.
Bliss kind of looks at Alvy and she's like, "I would rather see something built."
I like built things, but they're hard to travel with. So I mean, they're nice, they're pretty, but I don't do it very often.
Erlen looks and goes, "Well, my granddad was a carpenter, so like, I was into help build stuff. I don't mind it. I mean, it's better than dying. I already did that. That sucked. That sucked real bad." And finally, he turns and looks at you, Charity.
Ever since the mention of war and the concept of have you seen war, have you experienced, Charity has completely lost focus of the conversation. She has been staring intently at Ares the entire time. She's aware people are talking around her. Like normally she would have picked up on Amulet, like trying to figure something out and like would have like leaned in and like completely oblivious. She's just fixated in thinking.
You see this massive hand. I mean, the hand is probably the size of your head. Snap right in front of you and wake you out of it.
Huh.
He puts his huge hand, and his hand is probably as big as your knees put together. And he puts his hand on, and he's like, "I know you're scared. You know how I know? because you don't stop looking at him. But I also know you're a builder.
Yeah,
Look at
I
you.
I build.
You got the spark right there. I can see it.
I do. But you're wrong about one thing.
Oh,
Not-
am I? Enlighten me.
Not scared of him. I want to talk to him.
Well, and he leans in real close and he says, you should be scared. It's okay. A little fear never hurt anything. You know what the builder's best friend is? It's fear. Because if I'm afraid, then I'm being smart about it. Someone who starts to build without fear can make something that gets away from them.
Yeah, but fear means you do nothing but focus on failure. And like failure is not bad. Failure teaches you that you need to do better. Like fail hard and fail fast and move through it, right? Like that's a good way to go about it.
You can also fail smartly.
That is failing smartly.
And failing fast is not always failing smartly. It's a waste of resources and time. It depends on what you're making. Are you building or are you making art?
I mean, that's a complicated question.
It
Art
is.
can be building, and
building can be
can
art.
be art. Yeah, that's what I say all the time.
So you have to decide what you are when it comes to that. There's pragmatic builders. And when I make weapons of war, or I make a sword, or I make a building, I do so pragmatically. But when I make something like this, does this look like pragmatism to you? This is art. I can I can make a piece of warfare very arty, but is it functional? We're losing the plot here, though, kids. You have to decide whether you want to see something be tore down or something built up.
What if something else is already tearing it down?
Well, then you might have to smack whatever it is around and then build upon its bones. As Mother said, it's an endless cycle. Let's take your friend, for instance, and he looks over at Felix. The guy you're gawking at so readily, what do you think he thinks of your friend?
I don't know. I'm a scientist, not a mind reader. I know a mind reader though. He's kind of cool. He's like this tall, bird beak, kind of neat. A little bit of an asshole though.
Think about it from what you know of both of them. You don't have to be a mind reader. What's your instinct tell you? Bliss immediately goes, he fucking hates him.
Yeah.
What do you think war does to something it hates?
Destroys everything about it. That's good. And kills.
He looks at you, Monty, says, is that cool?
No.
What do you think building?
I just thought he looked cool. He looked like I think he looks cool. I don't really contemplate like conceptually. I'm 9 years old. Like I just thought he looked cool.
Everything's attractive at some point, even bad things.
Yeah.
What about your friend? Is he a builder or is he a destroyer?
He's a builder. He's a teacher at the place where we live, and we're trying to build something at that place. So he's got to be a builder.
I can't call him family because we're not allowed to. But I know he's a builder. He's an idiot. He's real dumb for bringing you here.
I don't know. We survived.
But it's not a matter of survival. He put you at risk. And he's probably going to get himself banished or killed. But he did it to build something. He's trying to build a bridge of information. And that's what you're doing. You're all builders. I know that. And again, he smushes Ares' face with his giant hand. He goes, I know that looks great. And it's cool. And it may be cool to be a bad boy and start wars.
Smoke reefers.
Yeah, smoke reefers, cigarettes, underage drinking, nudie magazine.
Hey, what was that last one?
But don't let yourself be fallen into sway. Make your own decisions. Decide who you are. Just realize there's consequence to something like war. And about that point, Ares looks up and moves Hephaestus' hand off of his face, and it kind of spring forms back to normal. Hera says, I have much to think about. Ares gets up and kind of chuffs and kind of stomps across the room into this 1970s open bar, starts pouring himself a drink. She looks at you all and says, you've done what you set out to do. You've definitively made me have to deal with the fact that something like this is going on. But I worry, children. I worry for you.
I worry for everything. That's coming for everyone.
No, I worry for you because if you are under the charge of, she finally looks and he almost stumbles out of darkness, like something stopped holding him. He almost falls down. He kind of he was holding his breath the whole time. He's like, whew. And she looks over at him and says, what have you done? And he just kind of doesn't seem to have words.
He's helping us.
Yeah, he brought us the whole way here. It was really hard. It took a really long time.
He did. And as I've sat here and seen everything that's occurred since you've arrived, and she looks right at Erland. He's taking all of you and put you in horrific danger. For good cause, but for selfish reasons.
I mean, to be fair, we kind of been in danger for a hot minute.
I've seen everything.
Yeah? You want to tell me how to fix the problem on my planet? Because that'd be great.
She kind of looks and her eyes completely glaze black. And all of you don't hear anything except for you, Charity. And this echoing, imperious voice says, be wary of how you speak. I know all things at all times from every moment, as my wont, as a goddess of Mount Celestia, as the goddess of Mount Celestia. Do you truly wish to know the options of your world?
No, I want you or someone to help me fix it.
At that moment, you find yourself still sitting with her, and you're in the smoldering ruins of your school.
Immediately snaps to look at the Capitol building and see if the tower is still standing.
The tower's still saying the Capitol building is extremely fortified. But you're looking at I can't remember what it's called that Leona holds in place. The magical the weeds.
Yeah, as the
It's got,
Archmage.
it's got holes in it. And you can see that this place is war torn. And you can hear the sounds of war. And if you look at the lowlands, you can see like there's active war going on down there.
Her eyes just well with tears. She can't blink. Like it's not, you're not sure if she's emotional or just unwilling to look away.
And then you find yourself in the city proper, and it's stunning. It's actually more than it was when you left. And you see Leona, because Leona is everywhere, except for it's not her. It's something else that it no longer, it's barely recognizable as her. And your friends who have gone there to help protect her and help stop this are all on pikes. Which is really sad because Victor's still alive on his pike. Because you're not sure he can die anymore. Every time his body changes into that thing, it just tries to ride its way up the pike and then it just slides back down.
This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense.
These are just glimpses of what can be. If you continue to demand help from others and refuse or do not just simply find a way home, the key to that conflict is simply you. There is no one to save you. There is no one to save your world but you. You are the crux point of that. If I was to kill you right now, Charity Monmart, to wipe you from existence, your world would tumble off its axis. All of you, I look at 3 of you now, 4, if I count one of your other sisters. You're all crux points. That's why you were brought together. You have specific roles to play out. Call it destiny, call it fate, call it whatever you wish. But that is what it is, and one of yours is to go home. Can't talk all of a sudden. Rally forces to your cause and go home. Your world no longer cares for gods. So why would gods? It certainly does not care for me or my kin. Why would we?
Not the gods there.
But why would you ask us to rally to your home? Powerful gods are powerful because they put that power in the hands of the mortals to draw in their worship. I would give you power, but I don't believe for a moment you would worship me or honor my name.
Well, I mean, not when you're sorry. What?
When you are acting like an obstinate child, you will be treated as such. And I know you are far smarter and better than that. I have seen your everything. I have seen you.
She like suddenly just looks tired.
Hera leans over and she puts her hands on your hands. She says, I do not ask for your worship or your acceptance.
That's a good thing.
But
I'm kind of.
I'm talking, dear, please let me finish. I'm based upon the memories of your own memories that I've seen. Take the advice of others and take moments to choose silence. And then later, you can choose violence. I don't ask for those things, but I will give you a boon. You came all this way. Very selflessly, while you have something very selfish that you wish to do, something in your heart. I see heroism in that, true heroism. So I grant you this boon, Charity Mart. When you have truly rallied your forces, when you are truly ready to go home and fix this, you can go home. You have only but to speak my name, and you and your forces will arrive in Stormsong. That I grant you.
Seriously?
Not because I have to, because I wish to give you your heroic journey. Yes, I do not make jokes. Do I look like someone who makes jokes? Are you joking with me?
Thank you.
She looks at you and she kind of half smiles. She says, I'm thanking you. You all brought me information I never would have known. Now I have to figure out how to rally my own forces, to make my own decisions. Unfortunately, people will die, both in your confrontation and whatever confrontation comes. Make sure you're okay with those deaths, because they will be horrible, both your allies and your enemies. Because one thing I will also promise you, and she looks, and in that darkness you can actually see Ares looking directly at you, kind of watching with just a sinister smile on his face. I will not allow him to intercede. And he steps out of the darkness and looks at you, and now you can only see him, and he says, but if you ask me to, I will. And he steps back into the blackness, and you come back into focus of the sunken living room of the 70s. It's like nothing, like no time has passed. So you have come here, potty-mouthed boy. What would you have of me? You bring this information, what do you expect, or what do you beseech the Queen of Mount Celestia to do about it?
What can you do to help us?
I'm going to let you on a secret. We are what you make us. That's why all of you see us differently. By the way, Charity, when you were having that conversation with Hera, she stopped looking this way and she looked almost like a facsimile of your mother.
Interesting. Okay. Duly noted.
And I would say not your mother, but your idealized version of what your mother.
Oh, like the perfect. Okay.
Yeah, like if you were to say, here's a picture of my mom, and to a professional artist, and then they draw you and then Jim Lee draws your mom. You're like, oh, that was not the mission, but sure. So my mom's got a gun belt on now, Jim. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
We are but what you're sitting and talking to are but the manifestations of those ideas. Do I have wants and desires? Of course. Everything breathing does, and we breathe in our own fashion. That's why I ask, what do you expect or want of us?
I hoped you could destroy the destroyers.
You feel a hand on your shoulder. And bending down right next to you is, in the same white suit, now bears the head of a wolf. A slavering wolf that your people told stories about on Mystara, excuse me. And it's fucking terrifying. Destroy the destroyers, you say. Would that mean perhaps a war against nothing? A never-ending war? Is that what you're asking for? You can feel the saliva dripping onto your shoulder, and it literally sizzles. Is that what you want?
It should definitely end. I just wanted
Well,
you.
if it's nothing, if it's something that's destroying everything, if it's a nothingness, if it's a unmaking, then we're fighting a war for making. Two diametrically opposed forces. The immovable object, the immovable force. Just, can you hear the thunderous applause of war? That's what you want. And just think, I'm on your side.
That's still scary, though.
Oh, mother. He's calling for it. What say you? I've seen you, Rosine. I know what you see. Tribes. In your world. And he transforms before all of you. And he looks like a humanoid hawk. If any of you have read Kingdom Come, he looks like Northwind from Kingdom Come almost. It says, on your world, I am the avatar of war. And your world is full of me. Endless cycles, blood spilt, the strong survive. He looks at Monty and he smiles and he says, if I had been there, perhaps your world would not be a smoldering heap. But maybe, and he leans down and he looks like the commander, maybe, soldier, we can take it back together. Your world will be the beachhead in our war against the nothing, against the great unmaking. We will be the never-ending force to bring everything back to the way it was. Attention, soldier.
He follows protocol, but is also
he does the same back to you, very slowly.
And he says, I saw the future where that happened, and I don't like it.
It's because it's called acceptable losses.
I don't want any more losses.
No one likes them, son. Well, some of us can tolerate them more than others. And he looks at Bliss, and she will not look at him. She just is trembling when he looks at her. And he looks at Erland and he goes, it's almost the same on your world, isn't it? And he looks like a general in fatigues. Your brother enlisted. He was a good soldier. He followed orders. And Erland is kind of it looks creeped out. At that point, Felix steps in front of all of you. And he looks around at you, Amulet, and he goes, you I can't touch. Someone else has got dibs on you. But don't worry. when it's time and you bring them through the dreaming, they think they're praising her, but they're really praising me.
Wow.
Because they're going to bring war. And while Tiamat is many things, she is not the goddess of war. And then he relaxes back into his chair, looks normal again, and takes a sip of whatever brown liquid he's drinking. And at the same time, when he does that, it turns blood red in the glass. And when he finishes, he gently wipes what looks to be blood off the rim of his lips and licks his finger clean.
Festus, can we do like a remaking? Is that a thing?
Felix is standing between you all and Ares now.
Frank Felix.
And he looks at Hera and he says, "Enough. You will not touch my students and you will not touch my family." And he looks at Ares and says, "And if you attempt that again, you'll find out very quickly the part of me that may be human is much smaller than the part of me that is her son." And she snaps her fingers and he blinks out of existence.
What did you do? Where'd he go?
Ares leans back and he says, "That's war. And I won."
You suck.
Can you bring him back? We need him.
She looks at Ares and she just says, "You can leave." And he goes, "But," and she's like, "Your presence is no longer needed here." And he gets up and he says, "I was tired of being here anyway. The battle's won. I just look to the next one." And smiles, and as he walks, he just disappears.
As he walks, like Charity is like doing like a little mock of like his walk, like.
And as soon as he disappears fully, she snaps her fingers, and Felix literally like falls out of, like, and he's breathing hard. And she says, "Sit down." And Hephaestus just starts laughing.
That was
Did you say that was
Wow.
Felix that she brought back?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she looks at him for an uncomfortably long time of silence. She says, "Most of the time I'm completely embarrassed and I think nothing of you. My indiscretion, that's all you've ever been. And then you do things like bring these children here. And then I'm remembered by the same things that your father did that actually got my attention. And he's just looking at the floor the whole time. And she turns and looks at all of you. I could look and tell exactly everything that I would need to know about him. I've done everything I can to not look. I've banished him from this place, and I've literally made a black mark in all of our views of who he is and what he does. And my husband allows it because in that moment, I turned the tables and cuckolded him. And he cannot bear that fact, even though he deals untold indiscretions my way. That one simple indiscretion is what haunts him. It wounds him more than any indiscretion would ever wound me. Who is this Felix who claims to be my son? Who is he? I want to see it through your eyes, not through mine, not through his. Festus stands up and he pops his knuckles and he goes, "I'll go first." And she looks at him kind of strangely, goes, "Oh, you didn't think he got all that cool stuff on his own, did you? You may not let me talk about him and you may not let us check in on him, but I don't listen very well. And Hephaestus tells a story about a very young Felix being able to stop a chimera that was attacking a village repeatedly. And he tells how he convinced Felix and the guys of an old blacksmith to get certain objects, and then he taught him how to blacksmith them into a particular weapon to kill the chimera. The weapon was destroyed in the process. And when Felix went to thank the blacksmith, he, of course, had never been there. Sure, he's not the smartest block, but he's brave. And there's something to be said for being a little stupid. I'd rather be stupid with a big heart than a smart, smarmy asshole any day. Go on. I know you got stories to tell. I couldn't get you to shut up.
Charity leans over to Amulet.
Was he talking about me or you?
I was talking about all of you.
Oh,
I'm not deaf. I just can't walk real well.
what?
Huh?
Huh?
What?
Bliss goes, he fought Hercules. Hercules said some mean stuff, and he fought him. Like, he knew he couldn't win. He just fought him anyway because he was mean to us.
Yeah.
He's my brother.
He always does what's right. Even, or at least what he thinks is right. Usually he's right about what's right. You know, we're like in the ballpark. And Amy, you said that it was really dangerous that he brought us here and that it was selfish, but I don't think it was. I think that we learned a lot about ourselves and each other that we never would have learned if we didn't have to. So sometimes you do your best learning when you have to, instead of when you have the luxury of doing it. And that's pretty cool. And he's like a real superhero. Like, not like the one from my world. He's real.
Erlen puts his hand on your shoulder. Like, good job.
Thanks.
And he always sticks up for the little guy.
Yeah.
I mean, not just because we're littler, but for the ones who can't stick up for themselves.
His methods might be unconventional, but he's trying to teach us to take care of ourselves and help others.
Krellis Erlen goes, Krellis thinks he's hot. I don't know. I don't get it. But I mean, she left one of her notebooks open in your room, Monty, and it was just like weird, very inappropriate drawings of Felix. Like,
Yeah, she draws with like all day.
yeah, it's kind of. I mean, I like her. I'm not jealous or anything. Like,
Yeah. I wanted to tell her to get I wanted to tell her to get a hobby, but her other hobby is like punching me. So I was like, maybe like focus on that for a while.
And he looks right at Fred and he goes, Heron goes, she's totally mean. It's pretty
She's
awesome.
super mean.
It's pretty awesome.
What?
I mean, like, it's cool, you know. Like, I don't care.
Okay.
Like, I don't really care. I mean,
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hera turns and says, you have been oddly silent.
Anybody who's willing to put up with me, as long as he has, and to see us here, I mean, look around. Dude, I don't know how to tell you this. We're kids. This is so messed up. Like, we should not be here. This is weird. I don't even believe in gods.
And yet here we are.
I know, but what I'm saying is he saw us all the way through this. That's got to count for something. And I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I am totally damaged goods. So he's 100% putting up with some real crazy banana, and that's pretty cool.
You flipping off?
God
Charity,
get out of my head.
Warrior.
Okay, just making sure.
I knew as soon as I saw maybe, I was like, God damn it.
I almost said it earlier out loud, and I took everything in me not to. I want you to know that.
We're all predispositioned towards that line now that it just if it doesn't happen, I'm more shocked. She looks at you and she says, she kind of smiles very, very slightly. And she stands up and she puts her hand on his head. And she puts his chin so he has to look at her and says, once this has been resolved, you can come visit and we can discuss this further. The one thing I will give you as you leave is my word that I do, in fact, love you as a son. And he just looks up at her through his lids up, and you can't tell if he's trying not to cry or if he just doesn't even understand the concept of it. That he's tried to shut all that out for so long, he doesn't know how to react. He just kind of sits there. She stands up. And she says, your ride will be here soon. She smiles. And she says, when he does come to visit, I expect you all to visit with him. And she looks down at you, Twig, especially, and she says, and I expect you to leave the bad language at home.
I promise.
And as soon as she starts to walk away, Hephaestus says, unless it's just me and fucking you.
Charity leans over to Amulet.
I like him.
He's cool.
Right?
Yeah.
He says, well, we got a little bit of time. So let's get to building.
What do you know about airships?
Well, friend, I know quite a bit more than you do.
I mean, that's not hard.
So let me start teaching you. And he literally splits into a version for each of you. And you all start working on things with Hephaestus.
Well, that's cool.
We
So
all
I
have
want-
an Unky Hephaestus.
So while this next part happens, I want you guys all to think of one thing you want Hephaestus to help you build. Meanwhile, Savannah. Meanwhile,
Yeah, it is.
We all did it that time.
good. Savannah, I can't recall where we ended last time. Didn't it end with you, Dresk, Keska, and Runtel? Am I right?
I think so.
Okay. If not, that's what it is.
If not, retcon, baby.
My last note says Bolt leads Savannah and Runtel to see Valich and Valia's Keep.
Oh,
Valia
yeah.
and Valia's Keep.
Because you talked to Valia.
Was that the last of it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Never mind. There's more.
No,
Valia
there's
says
more?
she knows her Captain Norhand is Savannah and Runtel.
That's right.
She says that Savannah's dad is working for Tawny in Hell.
Mm-hmm.
Boo.
Shows her Tawny on a
I mean, it could be worse.
bigger, more fortified version of the field or the school. Can't talk.
Oh, that's right.
And Valia tells her that she is the Synod, but she didn't authorize Runtel's quest.
She basically was like, I'm the kingpin here, but I did not say that could go down.
Okay, those are my last notes. Sorry.
So as she's saying this, she says, I know where Captain Norhan is being kept. And in fact, I can ensure you go see her directly. And out of the hallway in Valia's Keep walks Keska and Dresk. Little doll. You dig too deep.
I dig where I need to dig.
Little detective, find all the clues. And Valia puts her mechanical fingers, which are like porcelain, with little metal in them now from when she got so messed up in the fight before, and she's like clicking them together. She says, Auntie, you have done much trouble here. And the porcelain mask smiles. Come, I take you. Come. A portal opens up and you all walk through. You're walking through a very interestingly built keep in the astral sea. And it sits atop the corpse of a dead god.
Okay.
She looks at Dat and she says, you stay here, chubby boy. And he just says, or I'm going to enjoy the view, baby. He goes, before you leave, he leans down and he says, the first button is a fireball wand. The second button is Ray of Frost. The third button has got Magic Missile. The fifth button, your little pinky button, Poison Spray. Don't be afraid to use it, because these two are nefarious types.
She nods and
says,
goes after.
He says, go get him, detective. And he chills, and you can see him like leaning against the wall, looking out into the astral sea. You catch up with Keska. You're walking through these like winding hallways, and there's just like weapons on all the walls. Like this entire place looks like an armory.
Wow.
And you, she opens a door, a pair of double doors, and it opens out into just endless ocean. And you hear Dresk kind of cough. She ain't there. I think I know where she is now. Dresk kind of shakes his head, closes the doors. She says, you can wait here. He kind of looks at her. Make me an insight check.
Yeah, like something is definitely not stirring the Kool-Aid here. Let's see. Oh my God, roll 20. It's been so long. So very long. Ugh, an 11. Ooh.
You don't really know them, but from what you've seen of them at the school and what you've seen of them just in this interaction, they seem pretty in lockstep all the time. This does not feel that way. She says, come. And you're walking. And she says, whose idea was it to go to Valia's Keep?
She kind of like, wait, remind me, does she? She knows I can talk. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, if I remember, I think that was your idea, not Runtel's.
I think so. I'm having a difficult time remembering because it's been so long.
We've retconned it to be that.
Okay, well, there we go.
Keen in mind, I knew your father. Did you know that?
I had suspicions.
Angry little man, sour as can be.
Sour. dedicated, continually working.
Also, good in pinch, good drinker, good cruiseman.
You seem different.
He showed me you one time. He got very drunk.
I do not have recollection of this.
It was as he built you. You were like little ballerina toy. I began make joke about you, but he let me know very quickly you were daughter, not toy. He said could not have daughter, but then would make daughter.
I tried to be the best daughter to him that I could be.
He would be very impressed, detective. And she smiles very like, which is the first time we've ever seen her smile. You think that may be the only way she knows how to smile? That be the smiling is sort of a foreign concept to her. That while she was raised outside of a Githyanki enclave, she's still Githyanki. So as you make your way, she says, do you wish to know the prestige of your case?
I would be lying if I said no.
I figured it as much. I kidnapped First Sister. Do you know why?
I do not.
First Sister killed herself very slowly. I believe you see this.
I have had suspicions and concerns, particularly about her excessive use of alcohol.
As you guys are going, she knocks on a door, and you hear shuffling from the other room. And as she opens the door, you see someone pulling a hood over their head. Make me a perception check.
It's a trap.
Closer than you might think to being correct.
Oh, God. That's a crit fumble.
Oh, you're just like, this is so odd looking to you that
This
you
is weird,
can't
man.
identify it. You just see like a little bit of purple underneath this cloak. She says, is it complete, doctor? And you don't hear words. You feel them in your head. It is done. Our agreement has been reached. I will leave whence I came. Should you have need of my services again, you know where. Before he can finish, he says, if we see one another again without me calling, it will be on end of sword. I will hang your head like a trophy. And you hear him say, very well. And he walks down the hallway in his robes. And she says, sit. And you sit, and she leans down on her knees. She looks across and she says, I do unthinkable for Norhand. More than you can know.
What did you do?
I bring physician from Clock Tower in Astral Sea. Norhand not able to live with so much loss. She crash against shore like a wave, it break her. Lose ship, lose your father, lose other crew, lose brother, lose love. She lose her beloved. It break. I cannot bear see First Sister this way. Keska cannot break. Unbreakable. But they hurt too much. So I have physician remove not memory, but take apart emotion from memory. She can remember Peerless, but cannot feel it.
You
No
have
more.
violated her mind.
It was this or die. It is
Illogical response.
it is horrible burden for me to bear. What I have done. Not only have I done this to beloved Norhand, I have done this through the hand of my enemy. I have only told one person of this. And she just stares at you. Do you know why I tell you?
I do not.
Because you would have figured it out anyway. So now my burden is halved.
It was not your burden to steal or give.
At that point, the door opens up and Norhand walks in. And like this poof of hot air wafts in behind her as the room behind you see is like almost like a sauna in there. And she rushes up and jumps on Keska.
Like in an attacky way?
Well, I mean, you could call it that.
Oh.
And she's like, holy shit. She like pulls her towel up a little bit more and she looks over at you and she says, oh my God. Look at you. Like she's almost crying. And she's like, you. She says, okay. All of that before, that was not me. It was me, but it was, how do I explain this? Sometimes, like the ship would be not junked, but in bad shape. And your dad, he would say, it's still the ship. It's just not the ship. And then we all get our hands dirty and fix her. Does that make sense?
To some degree, yes.
And I did you really wrong. And I'm really sorry. And I hope some point in the future you'll be okay with that. At least okay enough to not hate me. Because I really deserve to be hated. Believe me, I'm hating myself a lot right now. So,
She's like circling thoughts in her head and knowing she believes that she's feeling some kind of way, but that it's not worth articulating in this exact moment because her brain is still trying to process what the fuck just happened.
Casca then says, there will be time. It heals all things. And she says, you need to put clothes on. Inappropriate in front of guests, especially tiny guests. Plus, I have news. And Norhan looks down at you again and wipes the tears from her face and says, okay. And she says, thank you to you. And she leaves. And it's just you and Keska again.
Your actions are selfish.
Kiska deserves some selfishness. We all do sometime. I have waited years and carried the torch. Since we were teenagers. And I have always been there for her and will always be there for her no matter. If you call my form of love selfish, then I am most selfish person alive and happy to be.
Some of the choices that you have made were not yours to make.
She almost laughs and she looks at you and smiles this very wry grin and says, "You have no idea." And that statement, as you mull it over, you realize, I don't know if you're talking about this or a lot of things. You had better get ready. We leave within the hour. She kind of, again, slightly grins at you and she says, "I am glad it was you, detective." And then she walks away and you're left in the study alone for about 10 minutes. Before you hear another knock at the door.
They'll answer.
Dresk comes in and plops down in the chair across from you.
She'll kind of just meander through the room and like look at the walls, see if there's books. She's just trying to examine things and trying to like sort this out in her mind.
You figured it out, didn't you?
I believe I did.
You got there a lot faster than I did. And I'm there all the time.
I believe a portion of it may be my lack of ability to perceive certain emotions immediately. I look at things in a very logical way. The logic took me there, not fast enough.
Well, I'm still figuring it out.
Perhaps I would make a bad detective.
Oh, I disagree with that. You've got years to figure it out. You don't get old. You don't get senile. You won't make bad decisions based upon affections.
I could.
Don't. Please don't. And he looks across at you again and says, "And don't say anything. You'll ruin both of them."
I don't believe there is anyone else I would tell at this moment.
Yeah. Listen, there's going to come a time real soon where Keska's going to have to make some nasty decisions.
About what?
I'd love to tell you, but I can't. And not because I don't want to, but because, and he holds out an amulet, like pulls it out of his leather jerkin. You can see it glowing. He goes, "Because I can't."
I understand.
But if you're as smart as I think you are, maybe try figuring it out now. How about a new mystery detective? Because it is important you figure it out. Because it could cost all of us an awful lot. And he gets up and he kind of brushes off his jerkin. He looks at you and he says, I like you more than most of the other kids. Most of them I find intolerable.
Children are curious individuals.
They're annoying.
At times.
I don't do annoying well. The ones from the old place in Sigil, I like them. They were around when I got the shit kicked out of me, and they got the shit kicked out of them. Most of the others, I think if I was in a different situation, maybe not bound in other ways, I'd eat them. I'd love to say that's a joke, but it is not.
I am grateful in this moment not to be made and comprised of flesh and blood.
Well, like I said, you're a detective. You'll figure it out. Here's a little piece of advice on doing so. Keep dreaming. And he gets up and he says, winks at you, and he walks out. About an hour passes and you find yourself aboard a small vessel. And there seems to be a lot of kind of back and forth between Keska, Norhand, and one of the people from your school who's aboard. He's decked out in gold armor, and he's carrying what looks to be a golden shield with like a griffin head on it. And he's got a golden helmet. When he came on the vessel, he had it down, and it looks to be like the head of a knoll. And Keska and Norhand seem kind of like at first annoyed, but almost like it's kind of like dealing with in-laws. You're like, I like you because my sibling is with you, but if I didn't have to, I probably wouldn't ever deal with you.
Yeah.
And he seems very fixated on getting wherever it is they're going. And he's very agitated about it. And you can hear him under his breath more than once saying, I swear to God, I'm going to kill him. I swear I'm going to kill him. I cannot believe this.
She'll kind of like walk her way by, like she's going to set down her bag. And you'll just hear her say, I would not condone murder or homicide in any facet.
He looks at you and he puts his hands on his head and he goes, you're not one of the students yet, are you? You are, aren't you? Oh God, she's going to kill me. I'm going to kill him, then she's going to kill me.
Whom are you intending to kill?
Oh, I'm going to kill Felix. When we get to Mount Celestia, I'm literally going to kill him. And he looks at you and says, do you know who Felix is? There's just so many people. I can't even keep them all straight.
Whom was going to kill you?
Let's pretend I didn't say that.
I am incapable of pretend.
Can you like rewind like a cassette deck and just be like, oh, you never said that? And I'll be like, cool, I never said it and we're all good.
I find your statements offensive. Do we all look the same to you?
Do you even know what a tape deck is? I was making a joke, and I know you don't know what a tape deck is unless you've been to Pasadena, and I don't think you have, lady. You haven't been to Pasadena, have you? Have you been to Pasadena?
She's like not saying anything. She's like literally trying to think. She's like, I am aware of over 800 different mechanical components that could be affiliated with some kind of rewind function, but I have no idea what a cassette deck is.
Yeah. He like just plops down beside you and says, okay, listen, I don't think we've ever met. My name's Eric. He puts his hand out to you. Let's start again.
She kind of like looks down at his hand.
Oh,
Back.
is that he like looks at you? He's like, is that racist? Did I just do something? What? High five? Bumps?
You hear like the
Clink.
Oh yeah, he goes, thank God. Like I'm real bad at this. It was so much easier when I was like king. So like you know that those two are like they're not really related, but they're like we were raised together. Does that make sense?
correct.
Okay. And their sister, she's the head of the school, right?
That tracks.
Okay. Whew. Okay. You gotta give me verbal answers because I get scared that I'm gonna say something dumb if you don't. Okay. And I'm very capable of it.
If it makes you feel any better, I am truly incapable of discerning the difference between an answer that is dumb and an answer that is not dumb.
Well, I see a lot of dumb shit. So I'm trying very hard. I'm super stressed right now.
You
Plus, I'm
seem
not
elevated.
old anymore, so like I'm not as confident. Anyway, that's my own thing. I gotta see therapy about it. I don't know. So Nigella and I are we're hug buddies.
What is
Oh
a
God, why
hug buddy?
dating? Do you like anyone? Do you like anyone? Have you ever liked anyone?
I
I
like
don't know how
many
that works.
people.
No, I mean like that other kind of like pit in your stomach, like you look at them and you're like, oh, that you make me feel weird inside. And like, but it's good weird. Like I get good feeling, but it's weird. And I do dumb shit because you make me feel that way.
I liked a boy once. I stabbed him in the chest many times.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. High five. All right. I feel like if Nigella stabbed me, I'd be totally okay with it.
Is stabbing a form of
No,
love language that I am unaware of?
No, I'm just trying to relate it to your story. No, don't stab people you really care about. It's usually bad form. Usually. Unless they consent to it. Because some people are just doing their own thing. So like if that person was like, yeah, I'm cool with you stabbing me, then you go right ahead. You stab away. But if they're not, then please don't stab them. Like unless they did you way wrong and you're trying to, I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent here. Felix is Nigella's brother, and he took a bunch of the kids to Mount Celestia, and that's a no-no. And exactly, it's what Felix was. Or not Felix. That's what Eric was trying to say, but he couldn't figure out the right words for it because Eric is kind of a hot mess right now. He put them in a bad situation, and they're not just those. Some of those kids aren't just students; they're Nigella's siblings. So they're Felix's siblings too. But Felix is also. Have you met Felix? Big, brawny, shirts and shoes are optional.
I don't know. Did she meet Felix? I
No.
don't think so. Yeah, I didn't think so.
He's dumb. He's dumb as a post.
What would define an individual as dumb?
He's not smart. He makes poor decisions. He's impulse driven. He's got a very, very, very strange idea of what is heroic. And part of it is driven by like he's not a human being. So he looks at the world like it's a giant story about him proving he's a god. Does that make sense?
This feels like a storybook narrative.
He's a half god, I guess. Like his mother's a god. I know. I don't get it. And on my world, she's just a major mythological figure. So but the shit I've seen, I just have to accept it as being a fact. So he's able to go to a place like this and probably walk out relatively unscathed. But those are kids with him.
Why would he
And
take
granted,
them with?
I don't know, because he's an idiot.
That would, in fact, qualify to make.
There you go.
Dumb.
Yes. Yeah. High five. Excellent. So I'm going to kill him. Like, I may not actually kill him. Maybe. But I want to.
I would advise against homicide.
From the mouths of babes. You peel through the astral sea and you see Mount Celestia in the distance. And it is one of the most stunning things you've ever seen. And Eric stands up and he's just like, oh my God. He looks at you and says, have you seen this before?
I have not.
Yeah, it's something. Okay, well then. And he walks away from you. He like pats you on the back and like walks up to where Norhan and Keska are.
Okay. She'll kind of follow.
Dresk looks at you as you're following me. Goes, you really want to follow the idiot?
He is also dumb?
Oh, come on.
It made logical sense in my mind, however.
Detective. He's what I like to call someone who's failing upwards.
Her eyes just look back and forth like she's trying to figure out the metaphor. Like she's never heard that one before.
Think about it this way. When you are so bad at things that you actually fuck them up enough to where they work out for you. And then everyone goes, oh, look at all this good stuff he's doing. That's that guy. Plus, he's slipping it to the headmistress. So, you know.
Slipping what?
They're fucking.
As in the expletive or as in coitus?
Coitus. Sometimes I don't know what all you know, so I'm just throwing it out there. You're smart. You'll figure it out.
No, I'd like you to draw me a picture. No, I'm kidding.
I can, but I don't completely understand how human anatomy works.
Stop.
So, I mean, I can draw you Githyanki stuff that'll make your eyes burn, but
like you sound like me in my Artist Alley days. Like, pay me anything, I'll draw some weird shit.
Yep. We'll do anything once, twice to make sure, 3 times if I get paid for it. You guys pull up to a dock at Mount Celestia, and you're by what looks like, yeah, exactly. What looks like a forge built into the side of Mount Celestia. And on this dock that overhangs into nothing, you see a very, very, very large version of your father. Not identical, but looks very similar.
Aww.
And he's like 10 feet tall. And he's covered in grease and grime. He's got the apron on. His hair, he doesn't have any hair on top. He's bald except for kind of like the I would say the Hulk Hogan hair, but I fucking hate Hulk Hogan.
Ew.
That's the only person I can think of. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
got nowhere on top, but I got this hair around the back, and instead of white, like you remember it, it's bright red, and so is his facial hair. But it just there's such a like embodiment here, and he's just clanging away on an anvil on this as he's finished. Looks like he's finishing something up for one of the kids, and they're all talking to him, and he's like pointing at your ship as it's coming into port. He says, I think your ride's here. I'll tell you what, you kids come back whenever you want. Make you a deal if you bring something back for me. Especially something I may not have seen before or worked with. I'd appreciate it.
I can do that.
Says, well, go out in this big world and build something, will you?
I will. I will create something wonderful.
Oh, yeah. So then I want to ask each of you, what did he make for you? Or not for you, with you.
So I had that piece of the ship wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he helped me make a miniature version of the ship. Was it the Peerless or the Heartless?
The Heartless. Peerless was her fiance's name.
Okay. So it's a miniature version of the Heartless, which also serves as blueprints for making an actual version.
Very cool.
Does he have limitations to what he could make?
You can ask, and I'll tell you if he can or not.
Because I don't actually want him to make something. I want him to help alter something I have.
Okay,
So-
what is it?
I have a golden compass, and I don't know what it does, but I want to alter it so I can.
He tells you it's a planar compass.
What does
You
that
set
mean?
it somewhere, like you set it like a waypoint in Minecraft, and then it will always point back towards home. So no matter where you are on the plains, it'll always tell you how to get home.
Can he make it so I can set people to it?
Yeah, he can do that. But you can only, if you're going to have it that way, you can't set multiple things. You can only set one thing at a time. So one place, one person, but only one of those at a time. Whereas right now you could set like multiple places. Like you could set 5 places and then click through them.
So, but can I have like somehow? Can I somehow have like multiple people, but not necessarily like it finds like? I want to have multiple people in the memory, but it's not necessarily working for all. I want to be able to find my friends if I lose them.
Oh, he can do it so you can find them one at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does it for you.
I want to be able to get back to them or
You
find
can,
them.
you can put 5 friends. You can put 5 friends in there.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Charity, Monty. Fair. That card's been pissed off.
I'm gonna save that one for Tales from the Loop. The Monty works with him to modify the Lego set he has. He wants to make it so that they can self-replicate and become like they self-replicate into like hard light. So like he can make things and then he can still have the set to make other things. So it's sort of like infinite building materials as long as you're making a sort of hard light thing.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what he would like.
He'll give you enough ability to make something that will basically be the equivalent of like a Leodaman's tiny hut.
Okay.
It'll be like Monty's light building or whatever you want to call it.
Perfect.
So yeah,
Do
you
it.
basically got a portable what's it, a garrison? Is that what they call where they store military personnel? Monty's portable garrison.
Monty's portable garrison. Sure. Why not?
And it looks like a building from Cornus.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Into it. Love it.
Charity would ask him to help her construct a simple vessel capable of transferring energy into an automated form. So instead of requiring a manual component, like the shell of something, it can't be powered. It's literally just like a construct of something.
Yeah, it's like a conduit.
That's what she would want.
Yeah, he will. This is such a easier than everybody else's ask. He gives you exactly what you want on that front.
Perfect.
So yeah, what does Erlin, Rosine, and Bliss ask for?
A vacation from our asses. Like,
I feel like
they're your friends and family, so no.
I feel like
It doesn't happen that way. You don't get that lucky.
I feel like Erland is like PS5.
Yeah, it's like either a better magical baseball bat or a PS5.
Yeah, totally.
Which would he ask for? Like a video game system, like the D&D equivalent of a video game system, or like a magical weapon, or would it be something else? Or would it be something to impress all of a sudden her name is escaping me, which is funny because I just used it earlier. Krellis.
Yeah.
Krellis. I feel like he thinks the PS5 would. I like the magical bat idea. I like that it could function in a lot of ways for him. Like, I feel it would be impressive. He can also use it if he, thinks try to kill him again. I think that feels good.
Oh yeah, he gets a magical bat. In fact, it looks like
Slugger +1.
Yeah, it looks like. Well, he gets crazy with it. It looks like the hilt of a lightsaber, and then when he ignites it, it's a big magical lightning bat.
It's like a Green Lantern.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's a lightsaber bat.
Yeah, love it.
All right, what does Rosine and Bliss ask for? He doesn't take enough steroid, Spike. He hasn't grown his head size like 3 sizes in a year and a half. Any ideas for those two? I love how I can tell when Sarah's saying something because Nate's eyes go. Part of me's always like, Nate, are you okay? Are you safe at home?
Blink twice.
Blink twice.
Just fine.
Well, I mean, the mark on your head and the story you told us earlier.
Oh no.
Sarah was at work when that happened.
Did they ask you at the doctor? Are you safe at home?
No, they did not.
They should.
They are supposed to.
They are supposed to.
Yeah.
So what do they ask for?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I gotta think about this for a second.
Okay, we'll think about it. As long as you bring it to next session.
Yeah.
I feel like
Bring it to
Bliss
the next session.
I feel like Bliss wants bubble wrap to put around all of us.
Right.
I was gonna say it's something
Yeah.
protection wise. I feel like she.
I know what Bliss wants. She's gonna want a pair of loop earbuds so that she can drown our asses out at all times. No, I don't know. I have to think about it for sure.
Rosine, I was thinking like a weapon of some type, but maybe like a mechanical bird partner. Kind of like Bubo.
Yeah, mechanical bird's dope. I like that.
So we'll
I
think
like
on it.
mechanical.
We'll think on it, and then
Maybe
back to
Bliss
it.
would want something that would give her a little more power of
Yeah.
some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
let's-
she'd want to be tougher or stronger or like, like have a little more control. I feel like she doesn't. She maybe wants more control, whatever that means.
Okay. Well, think on it and throw out some ideas, and we'll see what we come up with.
Yeah.
You guys see the boat pull up, and you see Norhand and you see Keska up at the wheel, and fit are happier, more productive. The gangplank comes down, and you see someone dressed in golden armor with a helmet that looks very much inspired by Akko. And he comes walking right past you, and he punches Eric. Eric punches Felix right in the face.
Hey,
Oh
what are
shit!
you doing?
And Felix just stands there and kind of. And Eric turns around and goes, "Motherfucker!"
So does it really punch someone? Doesn't know how much it hurts.
No, he just punched a guy who's, not human.
Yeah.
Charity's in the back like, woo! Fight!
Felix looks at everybody and he goes, "Oh, I'm not going to fight you. You're my sister's boyfriend. I'm not going to do that. I'm not afraid of you at all. But Nigel scares me just a little bit." And he walks right back up the gangplank like, fuck. Hephaestus tells you all goodbye. He sees Savannah up on the ship, and he winks at you and kind of waves. He looks at you also oh, you're very cool looking. Oh, look at you, you're special. And as you guys pull away on the ship, which has been named the Rescue, he waves at you, and you phase into the astral sea again. Felix the whole time stays up at the what is it? What's the front of the ship called?
The bow.
The bow.
Mhm.
Away from his sisters, as far away as possible. And Keska pulls Amulet aside immediately.
I'm in trouble, aren't I?
She just glares at you and she says, "Are you trying to upset me?
What did I do this time?
You go gallivanting away to Mount Celestia? Put yourself at risk?
I had
Do
friends.
you know how important you are?
I am not important, but I had friends who needed me.
Your sister needs you, and yet you go running off.
I had other siblings who needed me too. I can only do one sibling at a time.
I am
You
not.
can only save one sibling at a time.
This has cost you greatly, Amulet Sticky Finger. I
What is
will
it?
not be coming to Sunday dinner. And she walks away.
What? You can't. You promise you RSVP'd, yes? Mom and Dad are
She
expecting you.
looks over her shoulder and says, "You leave me no choice."
Mom, you're gonna disappoint my mom and dad.
No, you have disappointed them. Who do you think told them? You have been gone for 3 months.
Wait, I forgot 3 months? Do we know we've been gone 3 months? Hey guys, hey guys, did you know we've been gone 3 months?
What?
Felix kind of goes, "Maybe."
Oh God, I'm gonna fail my classes. I didn't do my homework.
We didn't have to do homework for 3 months. That's so rad.
Casca turns and looks at you, especially Charity and Twig, and the glare she gives you is fucking withering. She's like, is this a joke to you two?
We didn't know we were gone that long.
You would
I don't-
put
It
you
was
would
like a
put
day.
you would put sister Oh, it's longer than a day, Cassandra.
No, we thought it was long. We didn't sleep. We didn't ever
Yeah,
sleep.
you did a
Did
couple
we?
times. Yes.
Did we? Okay.
You were
okay.
gone maybe a week.
Okay.
In,
A week. We're gone
in
a
that
week.
time, she looks and goes, "You cause sister to be worried sick and this funny to you after all the family members we have lost?"
Do you-
We're just trying to help Felix.
It's a metaphorical humor.
Felix in much trouble and will be in more trouble once we reach home.
couldn't you guys tell where we were at and that we were okay?
If I could tell where you were at, Amulet Sticky Finger, you think I not come get you sooner?
But how did you find us now then?
Someone reach out.
Who?
That is none of business of yours.
I mean, if you're coming to get me, I think it's my business.
Why I even talk to you right now? I am giving you silent.
Because you
treatment.
like me.
Twig, tell your sister I not talk to her.
You like me. You know you like me. You like having me around.
She's not talking to.
And she goes back up, and while at the helm, you see Norhan put her arm around Keska.
That's
Amulet,
you.
Amulet under her breath was like, I thought she was crazy.
I'm gonna go run over to Norhand.
Hey, look
look.
at you.
Look what I got! And I hold up the little mini ship.
I'll be thrice damned. We've got work to do. I mean, this little ship will get us by for a little bit, but yeah, that's I'll tell you what though, Twig. I don't want to rebuild the ship we had.
Well, look, I'll do this and that and something else, and it'll kind of pop open plans.
She smiles and she says, "Why don't you plan a little bit more? Because we're going to build something really special."
All right, I know a guy.
She's like, "I bet you do." And she ruffles your hair. And then she says, "Oh, God dang it." And she gets down on one knee and she just hugs you.
He'll give her a big hug back.
Do not hug too long. He has been place you not know. He may have flee.
I don't have fleas.
She like looks at you like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, I would notice.
Norhan looks at you and says, "I've had fleas before."
I'm not itchy like when I normally. I mean, I've never had fleas ever.
When have last bath? Hmm?
Let's see. I was gone. What felt like a week.
Gone for a month. Smell from front of ship.
I was underwater.
When we get the back,
time.
you will bathe.
All right.
As you're walking away,
But you said you, not me.
as you're watching, you will all bathe.
Damn it.
As you're walking away, you hear Norhan say, "I thought his breath smelled like soap."
Joke on you, I like Beth.
Anyone else you guys want to talk to on your way back? I mean, Savannah, do you wish to talk to any of these people?
Honestly, I think Savannah's going to spend most of this time just observing. Like she is soaking in like the human element. Like these moments are still kind of new to her. Like being out and surrounded and like it's just like there's new faces and there's old faces and she's just soaking it in.
Okay.
Is Keska really not talking to me?
Keska is really not talking to you.
Even if I go try to talk to her?
She will not talk to you right now.
What if I tell her that someone tried to kill me?
She looks at Norhan and says, "We'll tell Amulet I am not speaking with her currently."
But they tried to kidnap me. And so wait, is it
I
just
doubt you say that. And she stops. And she says, she stops Norhan and she says, "What did you say?"
Can I talk alone maybe?
Norian kind of gives Keska weird luck, and Keska say, "It is okie dokie," and you go below deck.
Me and me and Casca or Norian
Mhm.
goes.
You and Keska.
Okay. I want to tell her about my run-in with Bargret and Roni.
She looks and she kind of thinks for a second. She goes, "Giant pain in the ass."
Why do they think I could change anything?
We cannot talk here. We will need to talk elsewhere in private.
Do you promise to talk?
I will talk to you.
Okay. She skips out.
Dress looks at you as you're skipping out, and she's like, "You really pissed her off." Like, I thought she was going to kill you.
I didn't think we were gone that long, and we're just trying to help.
You can't pull shit like that, because he looks around and he says, "The only reason she's this angry is because guess who was angry? She would have been fine with you going on your own big adventure, but when you mess with guess whose plans, shit flows downhill."
Why do they care? I haven't figured out what I'm supposed to figure out anyways yet.
He kind of looks for a second, and he puts his big dragonborn hand over the amulet and squeezes it so much you can start to see blood coming out of it. He says, "Because they don't need you to figure it out. If they figure it out, then they'll just need you." And then he lets go, and you can see his hand is all fucking mangled from holding that thing. And it's actually, you can hear it sizzling. And now, conversation about that is over.
Pat, how can I reach his shoulder?
No.
Leaning down. Pat his arm wherever I can reach it and be like, "I missed you too," and I go skip off.
He just shakes his head in the slightest grin on his face. You get back and pull into the oh man, it's been so long I can't even remember the name of the bar that's like a sky dock.
There's a bar? I heard bar. Is that right?
Yeah, there is.
I don't think there'd be a bar by the school.
There, because other people live there beside the students.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Also, those teachers need it, right?
Yeah.
Right? I was going to say, I know a lot of
Look what they're
teachers.
dealing with.
Do you want me to try to find
Yeah,
the
they can
map?
deal with us. Come on.
Yeah,
I
right?
got it.
I'm gonna say I maybe can show the map because I have the map.
I just pulled it up.
Okay.
It's the dry dock. That's the name of the bar.
That's a good name.
It is. You guys pull up into the dry dock, and there's a whole bunch of people there. There is like Monty's parents, Amulet's parents, Twig's parents. There's some of your classmates are there. Even Krellis is there, which is shocking for all of you. And at that point, it occurs to somebody, where's Posana?
So we should.
Does anyone react when he says "Where's Posana"?
Rosine gets really quiet. Erlen just says, "I don't know. I was dead. I couldn't even tell you what happened most of the trip. I got killed. And they all like their eyes are just like saucer plates.
Do you see her, Rosanna? Where'd she go?
When was the last time we saw her?
She volunteered
I mean-
for a job.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you? You're having this conversation. The headmistress walks up to where you guys are, and she bends down and she says, "My office now."
Shit, we're in trouble.
He did it.
She just points at
You
like
went
some
open the
random
Felix.
dude
Like,
she doesn't even know, like just some guy who's like drinking. She's like, he did it.
So everybody makes their way to the office, and parents and everything are forced to wait. And Nigella says, "I'll deal with you later." She points at Felix, and Eric is like standing like behind her to the side, and Norhand and Keska are both in the room as well. And she says, "He died." She points at
Yeah,
Erlen.
he's good
"Yeah,
now.
I died. I died."
we fixed
She
it.
says, "Okay. Where's Basana, Bumblecup, your classmate?"
She stayed back there. She volunteered for a job.
Yeah.
"She's a student here. What happened?"
She volunteered for a job.
"Charity,
What?
what
He's
happened?"
not joking. It's for real.
"Yeah. What job? What happened? You're giving me answers that make me feel like you're not telling me the entire truth. In
I'm
fact,
sorry you didn't want
Rosine
to-
and Erland, you can leave.
Oh, come
Damn it.
Monty, you can leave as well. This is now a family conversation.
What? Okay, bye. Bye.
Your mom and dad are waiting outside, and they're just fucking ecstatic to see you.
Oh yeah, he's ecstatic too. He's like very into it.
Great.
Your mom's like, exploring foreign worlds?
Yeah.
Montgomery. I at first was very shocked and slightly upset, and then I realized that you truly are my little pathfinder.
Different game.
You're like, "Sorry, Eric Mona."
Get out, everybody.
Surprise! He's
Yeah.
a Pathfinder. Well,
She says, I can't believe, what data did you bring back?"
oh, I have all kinds of data. We met gods and went to the underworld or one of the underworlds.
Your dad kind of scoffs. He's like, "Okay."
Well,
You,
I mean,
you
like
do know, Monty, in our
Well,
our home, there aren't gods. There are just differently powered individuals.
yes, I know. We met differently powered individuals who proclaim themselves to be gods. I know. I'm just trying to be brief.
No.
So, like, it's a lot.
Just
of
remember,
words.
you're giving us, in fact, we'll do a debrief tomorrow, buddy. You seem pretty tired. Let's go get your favorite meal, and you can tell us about the fun stuff before we do a debrief tomorrow.
Okay.
And
You're
they-
cool parents.
his parents are very cool. Slightly weird,
Cool.
but very cool. All right,
Very cool.
back in the room. Nigella now looks across and she says, "I'm not asking as your headmistress. I'm asking as your older sister." Oh, and she also had Eric leave the room, by the way. Now it's just family members in the room. What the fuck happened to Basana? Don't give me some bullshit about how she took a job.
But she did. So
I don't care about the job. Just tell me where she is and why she did not come home. And don't say it's because of a job. That doesn't make any sense.
she took over a job so we could bring Erlen back.
What is this job?
Do you know Hypnos?
Felix finally steps up and says, she took the place of one of my cousins in his role
For now.
as a god on a temporary stay so he could convalesce.
It's only temporary.
Yeah. And like, believe me, we tried to convince her not to. And she was like, I don't know if you've talked with her a whole lot. She is like stubborn. Like, seriously, we couldn't convince her to do anything else.
You catch a glimpse of Norhan and Keska both when you say that, just Cheshire Cat grins across their face. And Nigella says, "Oh wow, someone in this group is stubborn. I can't believe it. Who would have thunk? You know, if I would have known this type of stuff was going to go on, I would stay on the other side of that mirror."
There's kind of a reason we're all siblings, I think.
I can't imagine why.
We all got something in common.
And Felix says, he takes a deep breath and says, "It could be very short, or it could be hundreds of years. I cannot lie to you about it. She literally took on a godly role to save a classmate and to ensure her friends could return. She is a hero." Nigella stands up. She slaps the shit out of him. And
Well,
his
he
head
is
does,
having a bad day.
his head does move.
He
And you
kinda
think he
earned it.
probably moved it because he knew that if he didn't, she might hit him again. And she looks and she says, "You're out."
Oh no.
He says, "Okay, I'll find something else to do, but I don't need to be part of the school. I understand." She goes, No, you're out. Pack your shit and leave."
You can't do that to him.
She turns like this slow, like, she's like, "I can, and I just did.
And it's the wrong thing to do.
Tawny put me in charge, so I'm speaking with the authority to do that. This isn't the first time some sibling has fucked up and got people killed."
But
And
family
what
is
happened to-
family.
Amulet, quiet. He's out. She looks at me and she says, "You did this to yourself. I cannot believe you after all of this that you would do something so irresponsible." And the siblings that'd be most pissed about it, they're not even here to be pissed about it because they're dead. And you would take 3 other siblings. You just lost one of these kids not too long ago. And you drug them in somewhere where you could have lost another. Get the fuck out. And he stands up, and Norhand hugs him, and then Keska kind of just nods to him, and he nods back, and he leaves. She turns and looks at you 3, and she said, and Bliss, I'm sorry, Bliss is there too, and says, "That is the hardest decision I've had to make. I know you can't tell right now, but that broke my heart."
Oh, yeah, you look real broken up about it.
She's like, "The only reason I'm not looking up about it is because I don't have the luxury to. Because I'm the one that has to go explain to all these parents what happened on my watch. And then I'm going to have to explain to them why one of the students didn't come back. And it's one thing to tell parents that a kid has died. That's brutal enough. But I'm going to have to tell them that one of our students took on the duties of a major mythological figure and may never come back, or maybe back next week. We don't know. Do you know how much that sounds like bullshit? Because
it's my choice.
somebody,
Every single one of us will testify to that.
and that's fine. And I believe you when you tell me that. And I believe that she would make that decision. But parents don't fucking care about that. And our parents aren't even here. But other parents are, Charity. We're already a dangerous place to be. And now somebody's just gone. I don't even care about the optics. But there's a hole there. There's a hole in each of you. There's going to be a hole in each of those kids. There's going to be a hole everywhere. And I don't know how to fill that. And I got to figure it out. So you may not think I'm broken up about it. She was one of our best students, and she had the entirety of her future in front of her. And now I don't know what she is. Does that make sense to you? She's a god or something. You know what it feels like? It just feels like I fucked up. You're all grounded. Get out of the office.
But she still has a future.
It's her life. She can make that decision.
Yeah, and she wasn't exactly happy in hers from what she said anyway.
She's not, and there's not a hole in my heart because she's a hero.
Yeah.
She's 13 years old.
Yeah. Well,
That's a
most of us are that age too, and some of us don't have the luxury.
Well,
of
you're going to
dealing
be at
with
least 15
parents.
until you're ungrounded. So
My last school couldn't keep me held in. This
You
one's
also-
not gonna either.
you also weren't in a liminal space. It doesn't need to be a prison, but I can certainly make it one. Keska and Norhand kind of usher you all out.
Get out of the door.
Norhand looks at you, Amulet. She says, well, this has made things very, very difficult. Norhand just kind of looks at her, and they say, Norhand goes, I've never seen her this angry.
As soon as
You
we
see
get,
Eric go in the room, the door shuts, and you can hear yelling and things getting thrown.
as soon as the door shuts, under her breath, Emily goes, "This bullshit."
Bullshit.
Not loud enough for Nigella to possibly hear her, but
Amulet,
still says it.
Twig, your parents are like just smothering you with love, but they're also kind of pissed off.
I feel like my parents would understand. I'm
Your
going on
parents understand more than like Twig's parents,
Yeah.
but they're also like, hey, a little notice next time you want to go on a wander. Charity, you leave and Bliss pulls you aside, and around the corner of the I can't remember the name of the building you were in because I can't remember the things we created.
That's okay.
The amphitheater. She pulls you around the corner, and there is Felix. And he looks at you and he says, so I'm going away.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
They're right. I did it to myself. I mean, I'm not happy about it, but I did do it. But Bliss says you might have somewhere where I can crash for a while.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, depends on.
And Bliss like comes up between you two and she goes, no, I mean crash. Like he's looking to go punch someone.
Oh.
Yeah. And she's like, he wants to go to your place and punch people.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. He's like, then he looks around and goes, and then he whispers, he gets between you, he whispers, I thought you knew about the punching.
I didn't know about the punching, but it sounds so cool.
Where is this place?
Why are we still whispering?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I mean, we can if you want, like the whisper.
I just felt like a sneaky time.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. Like, we can keep it sneaky. Yeah. So, couple things you need to know. How do you feel about tigers?
Well, I mean, normally if they've attacked me, I mean, I'm not like Dad, but I mean, like if like a tiger attacked me, I would just break its neck, and then I would probably make its skin into a cool cape.
That would be so cool.
It would be super cool. Or a blanket.
What about, okay, hypothetically,
I don't understand that word.
what about, I'm sure you don't. What about,
Stop using your 10 copper words.
I'm so sorry. What about tigers with backwards hands?
Oh, demons. You do know
Yeah.
that's what that is, right?
Yeah. I know, but like,
Sorry.
he's kind of okay, but this other guy, major dick.
Yeah, a lot of them are just straight up assholes.
Yeah, this guy's a straight up asshole. I don't even want to talk about the things that he's done on my
Can
home
you-
world.
Can you show me where it is?
Hell yeah, I can.
Okay, we'll draw it on paper really quick because I've got to take my ride right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, can't keep the celestial Uber waiting.
Oh no, you don't know what he's got planned, but it's better than that.
That's so cool. Yeah,
She draws it up.
yeah, she draws it up. Like
You see him head to
she's
the
surprised, like it's very sketchy and stupid, and there's even like little like stick figures.
He
and,
just
like,
looks at it and he goes, perfect. And what you realize is he probably can't figure out where it is, but he's a Greek hero. He'll figure it out.
she takes it back and writes this way with an arrow.
He goes, oh, yes.
Yeah, you had it upside down there, sweetheart.
Did you put a name on it in case he's got to ask for directions?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he
Staple it to his underwear.
he heads to the dry dock and he steals the boat.
He just takes it.
He just takes her boat.
He just takes the boat. She's gonna be so pissed.
People are yelling and everything, and Keska's like basically ordering dress to change shape, and Norian's like, just let it go. It's a shitty little boat. It's the thought that matters. And she kisses her, and you see Felix wave and says, "I will return," as it fades into the astral sea. Meanwhile, the streets are rainy. And it's weird to have rainy streets in a city that's basically an upside down donut. You can't really remember how long you've been here, but something just drew you here. Maybe it was memories. You didn't live there long, but it was still home. And you make your way down Lonely Street. And you're pretty sure that bum was dead when you took the jacket. I mean, he smelled really dead, but it's Sigil, so it could have just been undead. You don't know for sure. But it looks good on you. You checked all the old haunts around Lonely Street. No one's there. It's like your family just isn't there anymore. And you make your way to the flower street at the beginning of the turn into the street. The end of the street? No, it wouldn't be the end of the street. Oh, geez. To the prickly vine. And you walk in and you hear the voice. And she says, I'll be there right in a moment. And she comes around the corner and the dryad sees you. And she says, I heard you were dead.
Got better.
She runs up and hugs you.
Hugs back really hard. Too hard.
She looks at you. She pulls you and looks at you. She's way stronger than you thought. And she says, I'm going to say something, and it's going to be the weirdest thing you've ever heard. But this is Sigil, and I'm allowed to do that. You look far too much like Brylan than you should be able to. Like, it's in your eyes. I can't explain it. She reaches around the corner and she grabs a set of keys and she puts them in your hand. She says, you can have his old room. I haven't really moved much.
Thank you.
I will say, you need to get a job. Meanwhile, Savannah, you have made your way into the workshop, back in the remains of the Heartless.
Okay.
And you hear the door click open. And Eenie and Meanie and Norhand walk in, and she shuts the door behind her. She's like, well, it smells better than the last time I was here, but it's probably because you cleaned up my puke off the floor.
There were several bodily fluids.
Yeah, about that. I'm really sorry. I know I said it before. I'll probably keep saying it for quite some time. But I really messed up. And however I need to make things right with you, I'll try.
There is nothing you need to do. I understand to some degree the level of pain that you experienced.
It's hard to explain. Like I don't feel it like I did before. It was just this gnawing on my everything. But I lost everything. This is my home. My crew weren't just my friends, they were my family. They were my love. Your dad was like a brother. And I didn't really know how to handle things. And in the past, when things went bad, one of the crew would be there to, kick the tires and light the fires, and we just keep moving. But we couldn't even do that. I shouldn't say we. It was just mainly me. I couldn't. And yeah. And this just, it still sucks. It still hurts, but it's not like it was. I don't feel like running from it anymore, and I certainly don't feel like dying over it, because that's what I was trying to do. I just didn't have the guts to just do it.
I am glad to see you in an improved state.
I am. It sounds disrespectful to say, but I'm happy.
In what way would that be disrespectful?
I feel like I feel like I have an absence of loss. Does that make any sense to you? Am I making sense?
You are not experiencing grief in the traditional sense. It
I
is a
was,
distant feeling.
I was though, and I don't feel. It just feels like it went away, like it washed away one day.
Perhaps
I don't know. It's hard to explain. Maybe it's just me getting over things, or maybe some things didn't mean as much to me as I thought they did. But
perhaps it was a gift.
sometime, maybe even tomorrow, you'll see someone as a gift. I really hope you do. Your dad saw you as a gift. And it'll be funny how some of that will take the sting out of a lot of things. Anyway, maybe one day you'll want to talk about it. I'll be here.
I'm sure that one day I will.
She puts her hand out to shake your hand.
She takes it.
And she's like, I want to hug you, but I don't know if that's okay.
You are welcome to hug.
She very tentatively leans in and like gives you like a slight hug, and then it gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then you notice Eenie and Meanie are like running all around you, like climbing on both of you,
Aww.
chirping and chipping.
They're the goodest boys. I love them.
Then she kind of pulls back a little bit. She looks down at you, and she says, "Thank you for coming to get me. You're my hero today."
Aww. That's so cute. She like when she hugs back, it doesn't feel awkward. Like the material of her feels awkward, but the way that she hugs, despite her demeanor, feels so genuine. Like just the most genuine.
You're more. She's genuine with her hug to you, but it feels like she's so tentative because she, obviously feels like I really fucked up.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I'm even deserving of forgiveness. So
Yeah,
let alone asking someone who she's not really sure how much she knows you understand a lot of it, but how much you have an emotional understanding of.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's where we're going to end our season. So, to recap, you're all fucking grounded.
It's bullshit.
Lame.
Felix is headed to Storm Song to
Can't even help people without
take
being
it
punished.
easy.
He's gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, you really have basically assembled an Avengers team there.
Kind of, yeah.
That's funny.
But your job, all y'all's job, is, we talked about it before. So please refer to your notes because I don't remember what I asked you all.
Do you want me to review it for the people who may be watching so they know what we're doing?
Yeah,
According to my notes from prep school, there's going to be a 3-year, 3-level jump.
Yes.
Ooh.
And within those 3 years, we need to have 2 major jumps, one a year. No more than one a year.
2 major events per year.
Events.
2 major events. I put jumps. Sorry. Events and at least 1 minor jump, but no more than 5 a year.
So one thing I want to say as well, you all can feel free to do as much NPC business as you want. So if you're like, oh, I like these 2 NPCs, I want to have some that they did something. So here's what I think they did. I'm cool with that.
Nice.
So if you're like, I think Nigella and Eric should break up, I'm okay with these things.
Look, I played the guy and she can do better.
Yeah. I think that I really think Eric is like he is the Jack Burton of Down in Outlands. If everyone is aware of who Jack Burton is.
Jack Burton is.
So we like 10-foot tall monster pushes your favorite head up against the wall and says, "Had you paid your dues?" You look him straight in the eye and you say, "The check is in the mail." All right. And Draz will be joining our cast.
Hey.
At the same time, another thing I want to put out there is if you have somebody you're like, I would love for this person to play in our group for, a short arc, have them get a hold of me because I would love to see some people take some of these NPCs and drive them like they stole them for an arc or 2. I want us to have, our constant 4 to 5, but I would love to add like 1 or 2 people in and out of things off and on. I think it would again make the let me see what's a check.
Shaggy.
Fair. That's fair. So that's there too. But like I said, if you have NPC ideas, stuff, we have our chat. We also have our Discord. Feel free to put them in there. I will also say chatters out there. If you're like, hey, I have this own fiction in my head about this thing, can this be something that happened? We will definitely take it into consideration. Just send it our way over on the Discord. Yeah, this game is all y'all's, including the chat, as much as it is anybody's. So I'm super glad we're back, by the way.
Me too.
It feels good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excited.
And I'm super psyched to do some weird stuff now.
Weird.
Wait, the stuff before wasn't weird?
That wasn't
Right?
weird then.
Where's the bar, my man? Like,
Well, I mean, like we talked about before, I have a tendency to lean on horror when I'm like,
Oh, do you?
damn, dude.
I want,
Cold-blooded.
You're like,
I-
like the trope is rocks fall, everyone dies. You're like, tentacles fall, everyone dies.
and they come from inside of you.
Yeah, exactly. Fully, you are
Tentacles
full of
fall.
tentacles.
Make a wisdom save.
I
You don't
kind of
know
want
where
to know.
you end and the tentacles begin.
I kind of want to lean a little bit more into like my absolute adoration of like Jack Kirby stuff. So I'd like to do some weird like fourth world, just weirdy stuff something I wanted to try to keep the vibe of earlier. And then
Sorry.
the tentacles we spread along the way. Yeah.
God damn it.
But I also want to, and Ryan, you can let me know how you want to do the ACO stuff.
Mhm.
But I know we had mentioned it before. I just kind of wanted to plant that seed.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. All right. Well, can you guys tell everybody who you be with, who you are, who you be with? I haven't done it so long. I must have messed it up. What your favorite season is and where they can find you.
All right. Well, you can find me on most socials at Cubicle Zombie. You can also find me here next week playing a little Star Wars. And
Oh, shit is happening in Star Wars. And we're going to be down
I
like a
should
couple
go
players.
watch, or should I?
No. Are you playing this week?
Next week?
Next
Next
week.
week?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I know Beard is probably not playing, and I think Matt's going to be out for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, Beard is not sure. He's thinking he will probably be out, which is funny because especially for Ryan and Kalan, I have your start point's going to be. Since you guys, I'm not sure you guys watched what happened to the rest of the crew.
I didn't watch. I wasn't sure. Like, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I like to be like zero chance of metagaming. So I'm like, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to know what happened.
Well, it doesn't
Which
affect
honestly
you
fits
and
though.
you and Colin who were on the ship,
Mm-hmm.
on the landed ship. And I will tell you this spoiler. Remember that crystal you found?
Yeah.
It's gone a little bit bonkers.
Oh, fun. Good.
So that's you and Colin on the
Good.
ship with this crystal going wild, and you I have this thing in my mind where everybody else comes on the ship. You're like, didn't do it. It was a crystal.
What did you
That fucking
do?
crystal did it. I didn't do it.
What is this? What is this crystal?
I
Where
don't
did
even
it
know where
come
this came
Wait,
from.
what the? Who's bringing weird crystals on the ship? That's probably how it will actually go.
I know. I
Creepy
kind of
looking
figured it
crap.
was. So yeah. Yeah, I'm super stoked about Star Wars. So yes, Nate will be next.
Fucking Jedi better
As long
not
as he
grab me.
doesn't pass out and fall. Take care of yourself, Nate. I worry. You're a delicate boy.
It's true. Did you also ask favorite season?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I'm gonna say it's fall.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, fall's delightful. Not falling, but just the season's great.
It's not the fall, it's the landing that sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Spike.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Let's see. You can find me all over the place, usually under The Rainbow Beach, BEECH. You can follow me right here on Twitch, where there might be some fun new stuff coming in the next couple of months. So follow over there. You can find me on all the socials, and happy Black History Month to those that are celebrating. which should be all of you. God damn it, go learn something.
Read.
Read a book.
Cassandra, my favorite season is spring, 'cause I like when it goes from like cold to warm. You can't find me on social media. Don't try. You can.
Partially laughing at that, partially laughing at this.
There you go.
Stop
Oops, all air horns.
lying.
You can find me here every other week. I might be on the next Spoopy Boys for some Nashi. Sounds
This
like
Thursday, Nachi Boy. Oh, next Thursday,
next
Nachi
Thursday.
Boys.
Next Thursday. I'm
You're all
gonna
invited.
be on again. I guess.
You're all invited. It's
Someone said I
it's a
should come
Paul
back?
Nashi watch along. Episode 3. I don't know which Paul Nashi movie we're all going to watch on Tubi together, but it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Occasionally on Bad at Games when we do something I play, but yeah, I'm around.
Paul Nashi was Spain's gift to us.
Nashi
Just
Boys.
bask in his nashiness.
I've experienced it once. Apparently, I'm going to experience it twice.
Oh man.
If we're all lucky, Beard will have the goddamn songs done by then.
See what happens.
Oh, hi. I'm
Good to
Warrior.
see you there.
See you there. I've been here the whole time, and I didn't see you there. Failed my perception checks repeatedly. I'm Warrior. You can find me on Instagram at WarriorMN and on Blue Sky at Just Warrior. Not Just Warrior, like Warrior.
Are you trying to confuse me?
Yes. At Warrior.
It's working.
B-Sky, whatever. Anyway, it's the one place I got the name. I'm very excited about it. Outside of that, yeah, you can see me. I'll be playing the Jawa asshole on on Monday, and otherwise, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Your favorite Jawa kidnapping victim. Your favorite Jawa
Kidnapping
kidnapping
victim.
victim.
Selectively ethical.
Yeah, and meat salesman.
And meat salesman.
And meat salesman.
We don't.
Purveyor of the
That's
only
not on the
fine-
front of the card, you guys. That's not on the front of the card.
Wow.
No, it's the back. A turnover.
On the back of the card, black light.
Yeah. Some meats on the dark web.
It's written in blood.
Hello. You can find me. What was your favorite season, Warrior?
My favorite season is autumn.
My favorite season is also autumn fall. I'm going to say it both ways just so I can be bougie. You can find me here tomorrow for Mang on Mang. Probably Beard's going to join us to unbox some stuff. Colin's going to be putting Legos together. And I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably going to paint. I'm going to paint this one dude. I'm going to Zenith the highlight him up.
Paint a dude.
And I'm going to paint this super cool tidal wave golem.
It's really coming across on camera.
Yeah, it just looks like a giant
Did
black
Beard
bar.
teach you how to do that?
You should really paint more than one dude because we have so many down there.
Wow. Hey, Ryan, can you stop and pull the dagger out of my back? That Cassandra just plunged
Just
in there?
saying, you should paint more than one if you have the
Hey,
time.
if I'm gonna paint him good. I only got an hour, Cassandra.
You're
Or
good.
maybe
You're
it's
fast
bad
and
fighting.
good.
Well, that's big talk from somebody who has a compass who can only find one person at a time.
Or someone who's been working.
That
the
was
same-
Ben's rule, not
Someone
mine.
who's been working the same
Wow.
wagon for 7 fucking years.
I haven't picked up that paintbrush in how long? I don't even know.
Yeah. So get off my nuts.
Nate,
Can't even get my shelves hung up.
I feel like Nate and I are at Christmas and like
Yeah.
everyone's fighting and we're just like sitting in the corner drunk, like God, this family.
Anyway,
I'm not fighting. I'm having fun.
Ben and I don't fight. We debate heartily.
yes. Because she's
I like
right.
that. Debate
She-
heartily. I
She's
like
right.
that.
I should paint more, but it's just like
You're fine. You paint enough.
You're fine.
Wellness
Fine.
Wednesday this Wednesday.
Today you're fine.
Second time getting together. Hopefully the weeks went well. Hopefully we were all able to feel that love that's from out there and from one another. And then Sunday, prep school, Beard is going to come on and talk about his game. He's prepping for that. Then next Monday, it's motherfucking Star Wars. So gird your loins. It's going to be an ugly one in the best way possible. I got a bad feeling about it, as I should. And it's going to be Star Wars. Otherwise, we all just want to say thank you Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for waiting for us to come back from hiatus. I hope you all had as much fun as I did. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.